Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the first ever video on the channel and it's a good one. It's the Holes character tier list. That's what we're going to be doing because I know everyone's been asking me to do it. Everyone wants my opinion because I am a really big fan of Holes. Watched the film many times, watched the director's commentary and the cast commentary, so I know what I'm talking about.
D10. Oh, that's what we're doing. We're singing. Y'all know nothing about that. Watch me. Watch me. Come on, Ed. Come on, Ed. Prove yourself.
Now, this video is going to be focusing on the characters of the film, not talking about the book. This is solely based on the perfect film that is Disney's Holes. And it's nothing to do with the actors, it's all about the characters themselves. So let's just get started, shall we? We're gonna start with the classic, of course, Stanley Yelnats the First. Now, Stanley has a few qualities, mainly being a wimp. That's like his main sort of thing. But he doesn't die, which is also pretty impressive. That's sort of what gets the whole plot going, is the fact that he doesn't die. He's stranded, but he survives. So let's put him on C. There's not that much to him exactly. Next, we're gonna move on to Madame Zeroni. Big fan of Madame Zeroni. This woman is both terrifying and hilarious all at the same time. You wouldn't want to cross her in the street, and for that reason, going B, because I like her laugh as well, the sort of cackle. Next, we move on to Mr. Sir. Now, this is an iconic man. He is basically just crazy and scary all in one. And I'm also a big fan of the old sunflower seeds. I think that's pretty cool. So for that reason, he's got to be A. Next, we go to Stanley Yelnats the Third. Now this is the first portrayal of a man on film with a foot fetish, as far as I know. I can only imagine that this guy absolutely stinks because of the time he spends around shoes. He doesn't seem to have any other personality other than liking feet. So unfortunately, he's going to go in C tier as well. Okay, now we move on to Twitch, who I feel is a very underrated and undeveloped character in the film. I would love to see a whole film franchise based around this guy, but since we actually see so little of him in this film, unfortunately he has to be D tier, but if we saw more of him, he would go up that list. Okay, X-Ray. X-Ray. Even though he wears glasses, he still manages to pull off this tough guy persona, and I know he would beat me up in a fight, so for that reason, B. Okay, next is Stanley's mother. She doesn't really have too much of a role in this film. Only redemptive quality is that she says, if she'd have kissed him, she'd have killed him, and you'd never been born.
Kissed him, she'd have killed him. You'd never been born.
Really like that line, but other than that, nothing. So for that reason, E. Sorry. Next up we have Myra Mankey. This is the dumbest woman I've ever seen. None of her actions make sense in this film. I don't understand why she would be so in awe of Elia earlier on in the film and then be so indecisive later. Her character doesn't make any sense. For that reason, she's an F. Be gone. Zero. Big fan of Zero. Everyone's favourite illiterate. There's nothing going on in his stupid little head. Mr. Hector Zeroni is a true inspiration to us all, and for that reason, he is S. And There is no doubt about that. Zero, we love you. Next up, we have Squid. Not much to say about him. He seems to be a character that just happened to be in D-Tent with Stanley. He hasn't got much else to add to the film, although he does have a great line while they're collecting equipment while he's eating whatever he's eating, and he says, "Smaller shovel, smaller hole."
Smaller shovel, smaller hole.
Really like that bit. So for that reason, he has to also be D. Okay, next we have the Warden. Now this is obviously the main villain of the film. She is scary for sure, but to me, she doesn't seem to come across that great. She's a bit unnecessarily cocky, and it's not really explained why. She does have an absolute belter of a catchphrase though.
Excuse me?
Really appreciate that. But again, there's not that much to her, so we're going to go D. We're going D. Next up, we have Stanley Yelnats II. You couldn't ask for much of a better grandpa. I can't fault this man too much. B. Simple. Really simple. Next up, we have Kissing Kate Barlow. I believe Kate is one of the first female protagonists of our generation. It's really great to see her transform and turn from this simple teacher to this strong, bold woman after she is wronged within the film, which is brilliant. So for that reason, A tier. Brilliant woman. Okay. Dr. Pendanski. I have a real soft spot for this guy. He really is the perfect balance of a friendly counsellor and a terrible person who no one likes at all. If I were to describe him, I would just say he gives me this sort of same satisfactory feeling as those bits of plastic that you keep on the end of, or on the end of the wooden benches at like primary school. And for that reason, S tier. Stanley Yelnats IV. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. We as the viewer fully relate to Stanley. He seems to just glide through life without too much care or worry in the world. So A tier. Obviously, you can't do any better than that. Next up, we have Magnet. Another one that doesn't really have too much of an actual mean or any like meat to the character. He just sort of exists in the Holes universe as it is. I do really appreciate his laugh that you hear in almost every scene with all the boys in. It's like that's how I would describe it.
I would have made it out my pocket and start barking.
We go for B tier because that laugh really makes it. Okay, Elia Yelnats. Now this guy is a no good, dirty, rotten, pig stealing great grandfather, and for that reason, E tier. Next up we have Armpit. I love this boyo. He has the most respect within the tent, whether you like it or not. He seems to be quite a hard nut to crack, but under that hard exterior, you know there's an underlying softness to Theodore that we all need to understand is inside of all of us. So for that reason, he is A tier. Clyde Livingston. Not so keen on this guy. He seems to just go with the popular opinion on Stanley. First he hates him, then he loves him. So he seems a bit spineless. Although I guess it is cool to see him have that slight hidden redemption arc as it goes through the film. But I can't say I'm a big fan, so D tier. Right, next up is Zigzag. This guy seems pretty cool. Definitely one of the most memorable characters, even if you don't remember his name. I don't have too much negative to say about him, so it's got to be C tier. Next up is Bath Bag, Gone But Not Forgotten. Opens up the film and brings us right into the action. Whilst he wasn't on our screens for that long, his name is definitely carried much more through the film, and he brings this almost sense of legacy. He will live on in our hearts forever. B tier. Alright, next is Sam the Onion Man. Another fallen soldier. He was smart, he was handsome, he was funny. Everything you could wish for in an onion farmer. Every time I hear him say,
I can fix that.
it truly melts my heart and warms my cockles, obviously. Okay, and finally we have Trout Walker. This guy is an absolute
Caveman!
And I can never see past that. F tier. Just a few extra things I was looking at upon reflection. Feel like I need to move a few things around. Unfortunately, I don't know what I was thinking, even though, rest in peace, Bath Bag, he has got to go to E tier because it's disrespectful to the other characters of the film. And I don't know why I put Zigzag in the same tier as the two Stanley Yelnatzes. He's definitely higher up than that. He moves to B tier. So there you go, that is our Holes character tier list. Please let me know what you think, because you're wrong. I'm right. Don't forget to leave a dislike on the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time for more great content. Have a good one.
Dig it, dig it, dig it,